name is Gustavo. I started a company my company Stunt Motorsports, where I design, make, and race cars. Pretty much anything that has a motor and wheels in it, I've worked on it, made parts for it, and raced it, crashed it, broke a whole bunch of stuff along the process. I'll start off talking about myself. I started off, I think it was about 13, just graduated out of middle school. I was always into cars and things that made a lot of noise and went really fast. My father hated it because he knew I was going to either one day hurt myself really bad or hurt someone else. So he tried to keep me as far away as possible from him, but it didn't work. So a lot of the stuff that I created over time was because I seen a lot of flaws in items. Even as a young kid, I was always intrigued of opening things up and then breaking them down and seeing how they work together. And a lot of times I couldn't put them back together. So my father, being a master mechanic, he was certified in everything from diesel trucks to jet skis or whatever. He would always help me along the ways, and that's how I got most of my knowledge of the mechanical side of it. And so that's when I had got my first car. My first car right here. And this is the start of it all. Started the whole shenanigans and powered everything. That's when I first bought it. For the top one, I worked I was a mechanic at the age of 14. Pretty funny. And I saved up all my money that I earned in the summertime. And then last summer, I ended up selling the car. That's how it is. So when you own it, you're sad there. I had to pay for loans for college, so I had to let go of my baby there. So my father hated when I first got the car. But throughout my 4 years, this was really me kept me motivated. I always look back to the car and I always tell myself, what can I do better? What can I do to it to make it better? And knowing that a lot of these cars, they come, chop them up with tubular front ends or tube chassis, tube suspension, everything. They cut the whole car, but it's just a skin with tubes under it. And a lot of the parts that they create for them have a lot of flaws in them. Some are heavy, some are fragile, some snap, some break, and some are just cheap. So it's pretty much that. Alright, now we're gonna fast forward a little bit into my freshman year of high school. I didn't know which high school I wanted to go to in Hartford, Connecticut. So I went to Prince Tech and I had an open house. I sat there and I went through all the shops. I went through Automotive 1, I went through Auto Body, and I was like, all right, this is what I want to do, automotive. And then when I went into the manufacturing side, that's when everything really got interesting. Clark asked this one question, is that what can you make except for air and water? I mean air and dirt, right? And I started thinking, every time I kept coming up with something, he's like, yeah, we can make it. So then I started talking about race cars. You know me, I like race cars and dirt bikes, quads, everything. And he was like, yeah, we can make it. And then I ended up choosing the shop. So when I got there, it pretty much became a pest. I was like, so can we make this yet? Can we make this now? Can we make this? He was like, all right, hold on, you're getting ahead of yourself. Now this is when Mastercam came into view. We were using something really ugly, but it was a good Mastercam, I'll tell you that right now. Because we were using AutoCAD, which we drew up parts, and I was a freshman. I was still in the exploratory phase, and I was drawing 3D roll cages in AutoCAD, and then I was drawing them up in Mastercam and machining base plates for the roll cages already. So pretty much Clark was like, all right, slow down, buddy. We need to teach you some stuff before you go on building full-out race cars here. So I was like, all right. So my sophomore year of high school, that's when I really started getting into the machining side, because the first year was like safety, not to kill myself. They gave me a nickname called Whiz Bang. Go real fast, break something, then I'll come to God, something broke. He's like, all right, come on, let's go. So that was like pretty much my first year. Second year, that's when I really got into the machining side of it. Well, first I studied a lot on the computer, because I really wanted to know how these things work together, how to draw up the parts, and seeing Mastercam had the virtual toolpath, I could see everything there before I'd actually break it on the machine. So this was junior year, but sophomore year I already had these parts designed on Mastercam, already machined up. I just never had the money or the time to actually machine them. So then came junior year, I actually got a job at an aerospace manufacturing company in Windsor, and that's when I started funding everything for Stunt Motorsports. So I started buying material by the truckloads. It was actually yard metals used to come and deliver metal to our school. And they would be like, yeah, and then Clark would go outside and be like, okay, what are you here to deliver? Oh, looking for Jesus? And that's when I come out, yeah, I'm right here. Just leave it right there, So throughout the whole time, I just kept buying a whole bunch of metal and machining parts and all this other stuff. And junior year, this is when I really started getting the business aspect of it. I actually grew wiser through all the old friends I have, whatever. And I learned a lot from them, because I have a lot of older friends, which is pretty weird, but I've learned a lot from them. Give me advice here and there, I pick up a few things, and that's how pretty much I am now. So over the years, Clark was telling me, yeah, you gotta make this stuff look better, nicer. You just can't have the same regular China-made stuff. It has to be real nice. So first 2 years was just research and designing. When I had the car, this is all the parts I made for. All the parts that I have here were for this car originally. And then the fusers go on the rear bumper. I'll talk about more than a minute, but that's the Mastercam part of it. A lot of parts I just drew, but I never machined them because I didn't know how to. I was still in the learning process of it, and I didn't want to jump the gun. And plus, I didn't want to show anybody my cool ideas. So by that point, I was already drawing up on my Mastercam, and then I had started creating fixtures for them. And that's how it all started with the Mastercam. Because I created the fixtures first, and then I used that program, and I switched it up a little bit, and that's when I actually made the part for it. There's a lot of, we had a Bridgeport with 2-axis motors, I forgot what they were called. In Southwestern additions on them for 2-axis. Not a lot of room there. And then we had Southwestern blades, and that's when I made a whole bunch of really good parts. And then we had got a CNC Haas, which I had made some of my parts on there as well. But these parts right here, the top one that you see is a top fuel dragster. It's a tow hook for the front end of a car. I made that. When I made the same design goes on to one of those import race cars. It goes on the front of the car, so after you do a quarter mile, you want to keep the car running because you're going to blow something. So you have it, a lot of times the guys will pull on the carbon fiber front ends or some weird stuff in it always breaks on the carbon fiber front end is $1,200 to $1,500. Now, if you got that much money, go ahead, keep pulling wherever you want, but the money falls out the sky, I want to be where you are. So what I used to do was, I used to go to the track line. I used to see the guys struggling and trying to find a strap or somewhere to put them at. So I created location brackets and the tow hooks so where they can pull them at. So the first car that we did, I made him for a friend of mine. He bolted up to his car and down the path, pulled it back perfect, didn't stress anything, didn't break anything, and it worked fine. So he was like, I'll pay you for it. I was like, no, you can keep it. So then a couple of his buddies came by and started looking at it. It's like, yo, we want one too, we want one too. And then like one weekend, I'm at my house working on my car, and I have like 4 or 5 guys walking out my driveway. Like, oh, here's it go. I got in trouble now. So they were like, no, we actually want to buy some of your parts. So there I was sitting like, what, $400 in cash in my pan. I'm like 15 years old. I'm like, $400. People dropped it off and leave. So that's when I started buying metal and really investing in making parts for these people. And so by that time, once the tow hooks were done, I really sent them off wherever the dough was rolling in. That's when everything started really. It's $400 for a 15-year-old kid. Skipping this stuff. So I was making a lot of money at that time. So what I kept doing was just kept buying stuff for stunt more scores, making more parts and seeing what else I could venture on. These diffusers right here. Oh, let's throw that tow hook up there for Jackson. I only made a part of like 3 of them, just custom parts. These diffusers on here, they sell $75 for 3 plates, and then a 42-inch one is $78. It's just a little different. But these are all drawn up on Mastercam here. As you can see, I have the Mastercam on in the background. I was giving speeches at Texas Community College about my parts and actually using the Mastercam. Because a lot of people are asking me what programs that I use and how versatile they were. And I picked up Mastercam in exploratory phase, which is only 2 weeks. So if I can learn that in 2 weeks and doing a 3D roll cages and bracketry, then I think a 5-year-old can do it if it's that simple. And I'm the type of person, I can't be sitting down for not even 10 minutes straight without thinking about something else and going all berserk and antsy, whatever. So I would sit down here for hours and draw parts and just continue drawing up different parts, different styles, and just go all over the place with it. And at times I wouldn't even get up. I forget to eat sometimes, forget to go do stuff, and time just got lost. But the diffusers I made were real simple holes, whatever, and then that's when I started getting into more complex parts. Countersinking them so the screws stay flush and they're not big and bulky. You know, the more appearance side came out in Mastercam because you can see it before you machined it. So if anything ever happens, you know, you would have to go buy another $120 sheet of aluminum and then machine it again. Because when you're cutting plexiglass, it's a lot different when you're doing chamfers because it chatters a lot and it leaves the ugly finish. and the tool gets hot, so it'll start melting instead of actually cutting like aluminum does. So after the diffusers were done, I was like, all right, what am I going to work on now? I created battery boxes for race cars, fuel cells. I didn't actually make them yet, but they're still in the drawing process of it because there's a lot of safety issues going on with those. So I'm trying to stay away from that. I don't want anybody blowing up and like, you only need car. So I made battery boxes, fuel cells, chokes, fender washers, a lot of accessories and aesthetics cars. Make the cars like really pop out. There's a lot of race cars. You go see them, they're beat. Tell me they're hit. They're all scratched up, everything bent and formed, and all they do is take a mallet, beat it back into shape, put it on the car, and let it go again. A lot of parts that I like to do, I like to keep the show car appeal to it, but as well as it's lightweight, it doesn't look ugly, and it doesn't take up a lot of space. So, race cars are really confined to a small area, and really they get beat on a lot. So that's a lot of the stuff I'm thinking about when I'm designing parts. Now, throughout junior year of high school, we were machining. We were machining a skid plate for a go-kart that we had. Now, Clark had this go-kart freshman year. When I first went to exploratory, I said, can you work on it, can you work on it, can you work on it? And for 3 years straight, I bugged him about it until junior year. He finally got it to high school. And then I tore the whole thing apart and I started building everything for it. So, the skid plate over here, this one was the one before. And as you can see, it's all damaged from hitting on the ground from heavy people sitting on the car and driving it. So, I decided to create one. As you can see, there's so as you can see right here, it just has nice contours on it. And I extended the whole part out here so it covered under the seat of the driver, because when you drive the car, you'll have rocks coming hitting you on your thighs, and it's not nice. So this was a problem, because these Bridgeports don't have that much travel on the y-axis, so I had to create a fixer that'll be able to hold this 20 inches wide part, and you only have 6 inches to machine. So what I did was I created a fixture and rotated it on a pin. And this was all using Mastercam. Like, we created the fixture and everything. And this is the only way we were able to use it, because we drew a box up in Mastercam as the table and the travel. We centered it, we had the whole tool rotate, and then we had it cut, and it fit perfect. Now, Clark was telling us something about this whole complex fixturing, and this other girl that was in my shop who was really good at Mastercam. We just took him, like, come on, we're not going to tell him anything, because then he's going to yell at us for taking time doing this. So we're going to make a fixture, we're going to flip it around, machine the part, and then when we're done, he's going to like it. So we had distractions, to keep him away from us, but we were all intertwined with this project thing. So we designed it, and then once I put my logo on it and we machined it, and I was like, hey, Clark, come over here, come look at the skid plate. Wow, it's a nice piece of metal, it's weird. So we had it shined up and everything, and it's on the go-kart now. We had it, the hubs on it were made with the Mastercam lathe. We had it run on our Southwestern lathe. That was the first project we ever did when we first got the lathe. And used, I think it's version 9. I don't know if it's the older one, I don't remember right now, we're using X6, but we were running that on the Southwestern lathe, and perfect. These parts came out so beautiful. We carried a motor mouse for the motor. We took a 125cc dirt bike motor. We moved the Rev Limiter because we wanted the thing to blow and wanted to go real fast and be dangerous. So we put it in there, and then after we got it all done, we got a whole bunch of suspension parts done, end links, rods, and all that. And then we came to find out it was dangerous, so we had to take it all apart and just keep it as a show car. But all the parts we still have there that we kept, and that was a really interesting project. A lot of kids worked on it, and it brought a lot of attention of the kids. Now, I'll tell you something about Prince Tech. The manufacturing chair, when I started out, there was about 12 students, and that's not a lot. And we were just moving into our new building, and the only technical school in the state of Connecticut that's intertwined with drafting and machining. So, seeing that we had all the capabilities and inspection and everything there in front of us, I was thinking to myself, I was like, there's not that many people in this shop, so I want to bring more kids in. I just don't want to be here by myself and enjoy all the fun, And my shop was loving it. We were all loving all this great work that we were having. So Clark brought in one of his dragsters, and that's when it started all. Everybody loved fast cars. So we brought it in, we started making parts for it, and that's when I was like, anything you put your mind to, you can make. So these kids were like, I want to make up this. I said, let's go draw it up, we'll make it. And a lot of kids came up to me, hey, can we make this? I said, no, we're going to show you how to make it. Not, can we make this? So on Mastercam, you can draw it up anything. Some of the parts we had to send out to get made because they're like 5 axis machine, but we got it done. And a lot of companies were willing to help us because, you know, we were young kids and we wanted to get into the trade and they wanted to help us. So, but this is AR Prince Tech combined with Mastercam. Now, a lot of the programs that we have, as you can see, we have virtual cutting. Behind the computer, we have the Haas machine. And a lot of the stuff we would do is R&D pretty much, because a lot of kids would go in there and they didn't know what they want to make. So we'll go on the computer, draw it up 30 minutes or less, throw it on the machine, and then we already have something running on either plexiglass or wood or some type of rubber or some type of plastic or actually real metal. And it was real helpful to the students. They were able to see something before it's made. It wasn't something where I was talking to them like, I can make this. No, it's like, oh, come on, I'm going to show you how to make it. Let's go on the machine, draw it up, and then we'll go and cut it on the actual cost. Oh, and these are the actual tow hooks for Clark's dragster that I made. These are one-off parts. Well, the story about these was pretty funny. We bought a $40,000 dragster, right? And so I'm hyped up. I'm like, yeah, bring the car by, bring the car by. For 3 years I've been bugging him. You know, it takes a while because, you know, forgets a lot of things. So he finally brings it by with the trailer, and we open up the trailer, and he's like, all right, come on, kids, help me pull it up. So we're all pulling on it, and we're pulling off the front, and I pull up this big square aluminum piece of metal with a hole in it. And I'm wondering, you pay 40 grand for a race car, and it has a beat up piece of aluminum with a hole in it that you call show car material. So I took it off. He said, what are you doing? Don't touch it. You're going to break my car. I'm like, don't worry, I'll be back. So I go and take the design from my old tow hook that I use for import cars. I changed the degrees on it a little bit. I added the little curve here in the hole, which is interlocking another bar, so it gives it more stability when you're pulling on it. And in about, I say probably an hour to 2 hours, I already had a part machine, which is this one. This is the first part I ever made. I made a fixture real quick with it, just simple something just to hold it down. I wasn't thinking I was going to make a lot of them, so I only made one off part. And in a couple minutes, Marty was like, yeah, this looks real nice, you know, let's make another one. So we made another one, and then we sent it out to get anodized. Same color of his race car. Then we had it notched out, so it doesn't wiggle, it doesn't flap, and it sits straight with the body lines of the dragsters. As you know, they're all, it's like some of them are carbon fiber, but his is plastic front end. And usually there would be a notch cut in it, and all you do is pull the tube up after you go do a race. All you pretty much do is pull the tow hook up, put a strap in it, and pull the car. So then, there you go. You save your time yourself blowing a motor, you save yourself from overheating the car, and plus it looks real nice. So you get 3 for the price of 1. So we got that done, and then that's when I was like, hold on, we need to start making parts for these cars because a lot of companies don't make them. Now, I sent this part to S&W race cars in Pennsylvania so they can use it on their cars. But seeing they didn't want to use it because they already had one that they had for years, they didn't want to accept change, they didn't want to use it. I was like, all right, totally fine, no problem. So I was making the money by myself. Then, now this is Stout Motorsports. Now, none of this stuff would have happened without Mastercam. I'll tell you that right now. Because me being as naive as I was at the age of 15 and not listening to nobody and just hitting a whole bunch of lines on Mastercam and not understanding one thing, and then finally someone taught me something, and then finally understanding what it can do, I was pretty doing good. So, like I said, I made those skid plates right there for the go-kart. On the right side here is ECU covers. Now, on a lot of dragster cars, you have the computer right on the floor, so after a race, the tuner can get in the car, tune it real quick. But if you ever look on these cars, they're just hideous. There's wires everywhere, tubes everywhere. It's not a show car, so really nobody really cares about the car. They just want it to go fast. They don't care how it looks, how it attracts attention. So on a lot of these cars, they lay the computers down. So I was at the track, New Jersey, Echo Raceway, and I'm looking at all these computers, and all of a sudden I thought in my mind, I should make covers for them. So I think it was Monday I came back to school, I was already had an idea, I took some dimensions down, and as a lot of people know, all of my parts, I don't use any other people's dimensions. I actually use where it's going to go. I don't look at any other parts. I don't take any of the other dimensions or ideas. Everything's one-off parts. So these parts were all made. That's the ECU cover. Polish it. Those were like $25 a piece. My most profitable parts right here, made on Mastercam lathe as well. 12-foot rod is $120. I made 1,200 pieces out of them, and then total cost at the end is $120 invested. I make about a $900 profit off those. And then my diffusers, like I said, they're $75 a piece. Those I can make in probably, a set of 12 in probably like an hour and a half. I did have, by my junior year, I had a whole payroll, I had a website, I had everything. But then that's when I started thinking business-wise, and I was like, I need to legalize all this, I need to create my own logo, I need to do all this. I need to take a step back and stop rushing so much. And those are the totals, that's the original totals that I had there. And then those are the finished pieces. And then these are more of the pieces right here. This is the one for the import car, the first piece, and then the second piece. Spacers for dragster, 22-inch tires rubbing against the frame. The frame costs like $3,000 of powder coat. Nobody has money for that. So I avoided the problem, just adding a little space in there. These sell for, I think, is about $25 too for a set of two. The go-kart before it's got real nice and dirty and powder coat and all that other stuff. Like I said, I had everything. I had stickers. I had pretty much a whole company, just not a name, not a place to put on it, and then the logo. And then this is me machining it, and then this is the actual dragster. Yes, 2 dragsters that we worked on in there. And a lot of kids at school were really enthusiastic about working on something that can actually see work and running together. They don't want to just see something they hold in their hand and be like, look, I made this. So you could put it to hold some paper somewhere, if you want. But so that's what I mean. I was always bringing a lot of cars, dirt bikes, quads to school, and I was having kids make parts for me, and I kept them enthusiastic. And by my senior year right now, by my senior year now, we bought from our shop manufacturing from 12 students a year to 23 students or 24 students with a waiting list about like 13 or 12. So right now our shop is the #1 chosen shop in our school. And it was in the beginning, it was nothing. It was boring, it was weird, and it was oily and dirty. Now everybody loves it. Even the girls love it. They want to make jewelry in there. They want to make all these other stuff. So this is my first logo. I had this drawn up by a friend. Well, we actually drew it up on AutoCAD. And then a friend of mine came and took it and added his touches to it. Now this is my new logo, which is in the process of getting legalized, as you say, trademarked. And it's going as a business name as well. Well, a lot of people say I'm skinny, which I don't believe so. But so I drew it myself pretty much. Good picture, huh? So I'm always seeing myself working with car parts and wrenching and stuff. So one day I was playing around on the computer and I started designing stuff. I was like, I got the perfect, it's my company, it's about me, it's self-made. I have a lot of help and advice from other people, but most of the work that I've done is pretty much about myself. This is the new logo, and that's pretty much the latest update on that. And I'm at UConn right now. This is my second year. I'm going for mechanical engineering. It's pretty good. It's really hard. So it's college life. It's pretty good. Stay up 2 days in a row, complete homework, do essays, love your life, drink a lot of coffee. So that's what I'm doing now. And then I just want to give a special thanks to Mastercam for giving me the opportunity to give you guys speeches. Talk to you guys. I'll be in the other room if you guys want to ask me questions or talk to you more. It was supposed to be longer, but I could keep staying up here and talk all day, but nobody wants to hear that. So I just want to give thanks to my shop teacher, Jim Clark, who's in the back. Without him and motivating me to do this, I think I'd be working in some automotive shop doing oil changes and swapping motors, And then to all the friends and family who kept me motivated and supported. Many times I said I wanted to quit, but they said nothing is ever free and nothing's ever given to you. You gotta work hard for it. Half the stuff that I have, I've worked so hard, hours and straight, in and out, no time to play. Gave up a lot of time to complete things, and here I am now. So I guess that's it.